We are on the air, Pops. What time is it?
We are the king of college basketball for 2025.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. The Florida Gators are your national champions. Chompions, if you will. Oh, he's got some scotch to celebrate. 2025 Florida Gators are once again at the top of the basketball world of the nation. Pops, welcome in. How are you feeling today?
Never a doubt.
Never. You're so full of shit. So, welcome one, welcome all. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Big Dance Podcast. This is part 4, the final installment that I have dubbed Chompions. As in champions, chomp, chomp, chomp. We are going to celebrate this glorious title today. Gonna kind of freewheel it, Pops, with stats, facts, emotions, memories of what just transpired across the last 3.5 weeks or so. I'm gonna let you start off. Pops, set the tone for the show. Where are your emotions right now?
Well, I can do it in a couple things here. The 6 tournament games that we played, we won by a total of 57 points.
Okay.
But if you talk only about the last 3 games, we won by a total of 13 points.
Ooh.
It was craziness. It was come from behind Gators consistently. I had to bring you off the wall a few times saying, we're fine. Don't worry, we're fine. I kept on saying, come on, hang in there. We'll make this work. Come on.
Yeah, yes. There were many times I was so close to posting before the games were over, especially the last 3, and a couple times in round 2 against UConn. In my favorite Gator Nation group, it's been a great rumble. I couldn't quite do it for a couple of reasons. One, I saw this team throughout the year, and they defied my expectations. They defied the odds. They just kept fighting, and we had the ultimate closer in Walter Clayton Jr. So that was one reason. The second reason was that so many people in our group keep receipts, as the kids say. And if you put something, you can delete any post you want, but you can't stop people from taking a screenshot of your post or taking a picture of your post with their phone. And those guys, and I actually liked it, were rightfully so in the Gator Nation group to post all you naysayers, blah, 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 and just post in the receipts of, we're done, this team sucks, blah, blah, blah. I was very close to posting, it's been an incredible run. Just could never do it, partly because of you. You had ultimate faith in this team throughout.
I texted you Sunday night, and I said, listen, we've had a glorious run.
Yeah.
More than we both thought would happen for this year. The team meshed together. We won games we probably shouldn't have won, but the tenacity of this team, not giving up, playing as a team. And I told you, no matter what happens, win or lose, okay, I'm so proud of this team for what they accomplished and what they stand for, and especially what they stand for. Accomplishments are always there, okay, but it's how you stand. I will tell you, my favorite moment right now of the national championship game after the game was over. My favorite moment, after he ran and Clayton ran and ran into Hanlagen's arms, he looked around and he went to 6 or 7 different Houston players on the ground that were just in disbelief, that could put his arm around him. That is a true leader. That's a person that's got empathy. There's a person that understands the game. We always talk about Walter Clayton being never high and never low. I mean, I saw him smile more after that game than I saw him smile the entire year. But the guy is a true sportsman. He gets it. He understands it was a battle, and he went and comforted the guys that he beat. And to me, that's what sports should always be about.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. He showed some admiration. He's a competitor for sure. I think it's easier to do that kind of thing when you just won the national title. But he also, it's easy to just completely gloat in this day and age where trash talking is on steroids. Just
Right.
as much as you can humiliate your opponent and kick them while they're down, it's like encouraged almost at this point in our lives. And Walter Clayton did not do that. It's one of the things I love the most about this team. We definitely had some trash talkers on our team, but it was usually in response to people trash talking to us. Just us like, get the hell away from me. You know, like Condon talked some trash. I'm sure Clayton had some trash talking and Will Richard, but those guys weren't adamant or animated about it, looking for cameras. Those guys were probably just doing it, in response.
You mean the phones?
Yeah.
All the stuff that goes
Yeah.
on today. It's ridiculous. Let's play the game, and then you want to do that after the game? Go ahead, do it. But
I think this Gator team, their emotions when good things happened, were kind of like the emotions of Michael Jordan back in the day. Michael Jordan talked a lot of junk on the
a lot
court,
of trash.
but he was never like. Remember when Karl Malone back in the day would do the diamond cutter symbol or look for the Michael's emotions was always like fire and going after his teammates, and like that's what our team was replicating on the court.
The second thing I would say is Todd Golden. What a phenomenal job of coaching. Now listen, there's some games he got out coached during the year, okay? And he'd probably be ready at saying, I was out coached. But this guy, being his third year at Florida, assembling the team that he assembled, okay? To me, he's one of the best coaches we've had. I mean, I love Billy. I love Billy Donovan. For what he did. But it's a different area, different age, and you got to go into the portal. Billy didn't have to worry about the portal. He just had to go and draft. He had to go and get guys through recruiting. It's a whole different ballgame today, and I give Golden so much credit for taking pieces that he knows he needed to fit in. And you could tell that this team was a reflection of him. When he was high, they were high. When he was low, they dug in. And this is the kind of guy I like at the sidelines. Does he complain a little bit to the refs? Yeah, they all do. But nothing to the extent of some of the coaches that we played against. But overall, this guy has turned this program into what he said it was, a championship program, and we're back. That one stat that you told me Sunday or Monday night, we're the only university in the country that's won 3 football and 3 basketball national titles. That is amazing.
100%. Todd Golden deserves as much credit as he can possibly get. In this day and age, this man went out and found a couple of 0-star guys. Walter Clayton was a 0-star basketball recruit. I think Will Richard was maybe a 3. Elijah Martin was a 0. He went out and found what he needed through the portal, but also kept Denzel Aberdeen. I did not like this dude for the first couple of years. He was over his head in the SEC, but he kept playing him. Last year, he kept playing him. I'm like, why are you playing this guy? And at some point this year, it just clicked. Like, Mike, you know very little about this team. Let Golden do his thing. And he convinced Aberdeen to stay. That was one of the biggest things he could have done. Yeah. Because throughout the year, we had injuries here and there, and Aberdeen stepped up every single time. In the national title game, he missed a huge free throw, but then made an enormous free throw right after that.
Right.
Even before that episode, he had a very good game in the national title game, playing defense, made a couple of big shots, did the same throughout the tournament. He was as important a piece as Condon, as Clayton, Richard, Martin, Um, even Hanlawton had his moments in the tournament
Right.
where I was all over him, but just his presence alone as a huge guy that we could count on for defense and rebounding made a difference.
Let me go through a few stats just so we get the stats out of the way. This is all 40 games combined. And I didn't even realize that Clayton missed a game.
He
He
missed a
played,
game, yeah?
he played 39 games.
Yeah.
We had 40.
Yeah, he missed a game.
I didn't know. I didn't
He had
even,
an ankle injury. Remember,
that's right. Okay, so here, this is how this team is so complete. Clayton led us with 18 points a game. Martin had 14 points a game. Richard had 13. Condon had 10. Thomas Houck, who came off the bench, had 9. Actually, had 9.8, so he had 10. So you basically had a full set of teammates, 5 guys, all in double figures. So, when it all said and done, it wasn't just one guy. I mean, here's just a few more stats. We averaged 84 points a game. The opposition was 70. We shot 35% in threes. They shot 29, all the opponents. We averaged 41 rebounds a game. They averaged 33. We had 15 assists a game. They had 11. We averaged 11 turnovers a game. And the opposing teams, averaged 11 turnovers a game. I mean, it's amazing to me that if you look at these stats, we were just a complete team. It wasn't one guy. And like Clayton said in his interview after the national championship, Gabe, listen, I wasn't having a great game. There's other guys that can play it and do just as good as I do, and they come in and then we set up. I told you Sunday night that Will Richards was going to have a hell of a game and that Clayton would be assisting because they'd be double teaming him. So he had 5 assists in the first half and 7 for the game, and then he came alive. It's kind of like we could be coaches kind of figuring out what it is, but to put it together as a coach, as far as a defense and offensive scheme, that last attempt by Houston, well, actually the last 2 times, when Will Richards, I think it was Will Richards that knocked the ball off of him and went out of bounds. It was our ball. The interesting thing about the throw in, I thought to myself, oh my God, we got to throw the ball in against Houston, and they destroyed Duke. And it was perfectly done. It was thrown into Hook, and he gave it back to Clayton, and Clayton, thank God that Aberdeen's fast and got the ball, which ended up, him shooting the free throws. But the last play of the game, we hit every time they wanted to do something in a play, we stopped them. And even Clayton jumping up and going to block that guy's shot, and they couldn't touch the ball. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yes, it was unbelievable. I still can't believe it. When I think about it, when I see highlights earlier today, I can't believe it. I think the few storylines for this team, for me, the reason why this team won the SEC tournament, the reason why this team ended up winning the national title, is we did have one superstar, but it was the entire team. It was our depth at guard, our depth at the front court, and we had a closer. I mean, our rebounding, you just said, I think we out-rebounded teams by 8 every single game. You rebound teams by 8 or more every game, you're going to win a lot of those games. We dug in defensively. We played as a team. We never gave up. Ultimately, it was our depth at every position that helped us be the king of the mountain.
100%, I agree. 100%.
And it all begins at the top with Coach Golden. Let's not forget, we had some controversial things off the court, and that might have helped us get together as a team. Like, there's a lot of noise outside of the program that is completely untrue. Let the system take its course and show what actually was true or false. But for right now, we've got to get together as a team, and it's us against the world type mentality. So what a what a wonderful season, Pops. It was definitely not mom games, the last three. I will continue to say that it almost feels like we had no business winning the national title after what I saw in the tournament with our grit, our depth, our superstar, our coaching. It got us over the top. Like Todd Golden took out Clayton. Now, he usually did that throughout the tournament. At a certain time in the second half, I noticed that he would give him a 3-minute break to get him ready for the stretch run.
And it was usually around a timeout that was going to come.
Yes, but we were down by 12, and he could have easily kept him in for that entire final game, saying, I'm not taking him out this time. We need our best player on the court. But he still took him out, and we made a run with him out because the team rose to the occasion. In the first half, it was Will Richard who rose to the occasion. In the second half, it was everybody playing defense at the highest level they could and making the right passes, the right decisions. We had what? Eight turnovers in the first half and only 4 in the second half?
We had 9 turnovers in the first half.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. We had 4 in the second half. But, they turned the ball over 5 times in the last 4.5 minutes. And the last 2 plays of the game, they turned the ball over. So I think the turnovers went from like 13 to like 11 or something like that. So it was kind of, we got the turnovers in the first half. They got them in the second half.
And some of that was on them. But let's not forget how great we played defense. Houston got to the title game by playing defense, by turning people over, by making people uncomfortable. We did the exact same thing to them. So I will say another reason why we're the champs is that this team, as deep as we are and as well coached as we are, we could play any style.
Yes.
When we won the SEC tournament at the end of the year going into the NCAA tournament, we blew out Missouri, who had beaten us earlier in the year. Then we blew out Alabama. Right. Then we blew out Tennessee. I'm like, we are going to be very, very tough to beat in the tournament. But then the NCAA tournament came around. First round against Norfolk State, we've said it before, in the first 10, 12, 15 minutes.
Best basketball we played the entire tournament.
Just blowing them out of the water. I'm like, we are going to be tough to beat. And then Norfolk State went on an 11-0 run at the end of the first half, cut it down to 22 or whatever. But since that point, we were on edge, and we were not playing our best ball, but we still found a way to win. We could win running up and down because we had the athletes. We could win playing half court because Golden had them trained in our half court sets, both on offense and defense. We could win however we needed to win, and we did.
All the experts say, well, Florida won. They were the best team. But they weren't dominant. Listen, it doesn't matter how you win. It's the W at the end of the game. That's all that matters. And listen, I think that the Connecticut game just helped us for the next 4 games because they were all going to be close, and we knew that we could come from behind. This team, the last 3-4 minutes of every game, we were fresher. We because of our rotation, because of our players. And we just wore these teams down. I mean, you looked at Auburn, which, by the way, we beat Alabama, the state of Alabama, 3-0. Okay, so I don't want to hear anything about Alabama, for a while. Yeah. I was very happy with.
We beat them 4-0.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4-0 because of the last one, right? I was very happy with the TNT TBS guys. I think Jay Wright was very even keel. He's a coach, a former coach. He understands what it takes to win a national title. He acknowledged what you just said about Florida can beat you so many different ways. I thought that Ernie did a nice job coordinating. I thought, Clark Kellogg, he was right there. Even the round mound of rebound, Mr. Barkley, he was very sad that his Auburn team went down. But you could tell that Broom was completely beaten at the end of the game. They were just beating on him. And he just, as much garbage that he was talking during the game. I mean, the first time he made a basket and went down the court, the camera showed him, and he was already given Condon stuff already. I mean, it's like, okay, come on, there we go.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it was nice to see the media give us our due because nobody did what we did as far as coming back as many times as we did against quality teams. Now remember, we beat two number ones during the season, and we beat two number ones back to back. In the semi and the championship. So there's no question about who is the best team this year. Period. End of story. How we won doesn't matter. It's the W at the end. That's all that matters.
Yes, a couple notes on what you just said. Kudos to CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV for putting on a great production once again,
Phenomenal.
where nobody has to pay extra money and we can see every single game in its entirety if we want. I love that. It changed 10, 15 years ago, and I was surprised to see it then. I'm surprised to still see it going in the capitalistic society we live in, where they can make probably a lot more money doing it another way. So kudos to them. Charles Barkley was very gracious to the Gators after he loves his alma mater, Auburn.
As he should.
There. He did throw in a little thing at the end of the title game about congratulations to Florida. Then he went on this little Auburn rant. Good for him. And that's fine. But given the circumstances and where he was and what he had to do and be in his job during this enormous game, I love Charles Barkley. Now, I do want to be a little bit of a hater for a second, Pops.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kelvin Sampson blamed a couple of his players in the press conference after the game.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
He threw a couple of his players under the bus. He said some things about the refs. Everyone complains about the refs, so I guess I could put that aside. But he threw some of his players under the bus. Kelvin Sampson, let me just say this. You were 69 years old. You could have been is it 79? Or 60?
No, 69. He would have been the oldest.
Okay, he would have been the oldest head coach to ever win the national title.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why you didn't is because you did not coach well that game. Your players played hard, and you got all the players there, and they play hard for you. You gave them a team culture where defense was first. They pulled together as much as we did. But at the end of the game, you let your team down. They came out in those last couple of possessions, did not look like they knew what they wanted to do. And our defense stood tall, but you did not get a shot off. Your team that you're responsible for, the two biggest possessions in the history of Houston basketball, and you are a coach that's been at it for 40-something years, your team didn't get a shot off. And you're as much to blame, in my opinion, as anybody on the court for that happening. So,
I mean, to me, he could have said to the guy, he obviously they wanted to win it with a three, and I get that. But if it's not there, and that last time the guy should have driven to the basket, two things would have happened: either he would have gotten fouled, or he would have made the basket. I mean, for him just to stay out there in the 3-point line, I didn't understand.
It was his decision to go for three. It was very obvious from the beginning that they were going to go for three and take the first best three they could find.
Yeah.
But that was their strategy, and he knows we're a good defensive team. He knows that we're going to say no threes. If anything, we're going to overtime. And so he's as much to blame. I did not see him in any interviews take the blame directly upon himself.
No, he kept on saying, we didn't get a shot off. I can't believe we couldn't have gotten a shot off. I mean, it's kind of like, okay.
In all the interviews he did, he probably took the blame somewhere. I did not see it, Pops. No. And so for that, I say shame on you, Kelvin Sampson. And it's not like he's lived a clean life in college basketball. But let's leave that as it may. But as the game on the court progressed, I saw a guy 39 years old, Todd Golden, out coaching a man that was 69 years old. And once again, they have as much talent on that court as we did, if not more.
Well, you know what? I was going to bring two things up. One, that the 5 starters and the 2 reserves Actually, 3 reserves. So the top 8 players. We didn't have anybody in the top 100
Mm-hmm.
coming out of high school. Not one player out
It's
of the top
incredible.
100. The other thing I want to say is, and it's not a downer, it's just things happen, schedules happen, everything else. But I was a little disappointed that Joe Kim wasn't there,
Yeah.
Tyreen Green wasn't there,
Yeah.
Corey Brewer
Brewer.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
I saw Al Horford. That was nice
Yeah.
to show him. But I I mean, for the biggest game for a Gator, and those guys know, and it's like the last 3 that I mentioned are not in playing basketball. Al is
Right.
still playing, for God's sake.
Napier was there.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I mean, I would have liked to have Joe Kim there. Now, I don't know what the
Yes.
reason is in that, and I love Joe Kim. You know how much I love Joe Kim.
Yes.
But I think, you know, Torian Green and him and Corey Brewer all should have been there.
There could have been Mike Miller
Yeah.
could have been there.
Yeah.
Like Teddy Dupay, all
Teddy
those guys
Dupay, for God's sake,
from
yeah.
2000. Patrick Young has his challenges, but
Right.
him, Wilbekin, like David Lee, all these guys,
Yeah,
Maurice
I would've-
Spates, Bradley
yeah.
Beal. We have
This,
tons
this,
of.
this is the one thing in Florida Gator history that bothers me a little bit. We don't have enough alumni from the sports coming back in games, whether it's football or whether it's basketball or whatever. I don't see what I see in the sidelines, for Southern Cal, for Ohio State. I mean, these guys, Penn State, they're all back and they're supporting their team. I don't know what the thing
There's
is.
some of that coming back, Pops. I think there's a slant on ESPN against us.
Well-
I think there were probably more Gators in the fans, but every single game that I watch, it seems like they showed everyone else's parents and everyone else's alumni more than us.
Yeah.
So there, those guys must have had other things going on. If the game had been against Duke, I would have understood, because when Houston beat Duke, I knew we had a chance to win the national title. I did not think, Pops, who knows? We'll never know, and I'm glad we'll never know. We did not have a good chance
Well,
against
let
Duke.
me just settle that right now. We would have beaten Duke.
All right. Let's keep it positive. Pops, do you have a time over there? I'm hoping that we've been recording this time. My time says 27 seconds.
Oh, I don't even know. Hold on.
I can cut this out if
I
we
got
need.
27 minutes, my friend.
Oh, we're at 27 minutes. All right, good. Good. And we roll on. We've got about 5 more minutes to go. Pops, I want to say a couple stats.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of get into some final thoughts.
And congratulations to the Gators, and congratulations for you for doing this podcast.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. You said it doesn't matter. At one point, you said it doesn't matter how we win. I will beg to differ. There are some Gator fans out there for the last 3 games that we needed some defibrillators. Okay. I don't know if you were.
What was the point of the betting point for the game?
It was 1.5. 1 point, yeah.
One.
And they won by 2. I think they were covering the spread. They did not cover against UConn because they only won by 2. But so a couple stats, as you said earlier, we're the only school in America to have 3 titles in both football and men's basketball. The 2 big boys. So
And
even
we've
though it's
seen
only
them
2
all.
sports, you can
We've seen
say
them all.
that we are an everything school. I saw a stat yesterday and I couldn't find it again. It's something like 17 straight seasons. University of Florida has a team national title
Yes, sir.
in some sport. We are truly the everything school because we're the only school to have 3 titles in football, 3 titles in basketball. You can throw into that a title in baseball. You can throw into that titles in volleyball, in women's soccer, in softball, in gymnastics.
And track and field, we got about 10 between the men and the women.
Track and field, swimming and diving. We are, Pops, I think, chomp. Unfortunately, your son has not taken many of the lessons you've given me over the years, especially in the financial world. I have not succeeded financially at all yet. I'm hoping it comes before you lose your faculties because I want to buy you some stuff. But given what I just said, the best gift I ever gave to you, I believe, and to Gator Nation, is to go to the University of Florida.
I agree
Because
100%.
I arrived there in 1993, and I'm going to toot my own horn right now. I arrived there in 1993, in August of 1993, Pops. We shortly went to the Final Four for the first time ever in 1994 under Lon Kruger and DeMeat Hook and DeClerc and Craig Brown and Dan Cross and all those guys.
Yeah.
Then shortly after that, in 1996, we won it all in football for the first time ever under Steve Spurrier, Werfel, Hilliard, Rydell, all those guys. We then went on, we got Billy Donovan. Went to the final game in 2000. We ended up winning 2 national titles in basketball. Went to another Final Four in 2014. We won 2 titles in 2006, 2008 with the Gators. I mean, you're welcome, Gator Nation. You are welcome for me picking that school. Because it's all because of me and my yelling at the TV. I let Mike White have it at a Florida basketball game shortly before he took the Georgia job when we were getting blown out of the stadium in Florida after we had taken in the 56-0 drubbing of Vanderbilt.
Let me just highlight that for a second for the fans out there. We decided to go to a football game, and I scheduled us a football game and a basketball game so that we could go see both teams. I don't even remember who we were playing in football, but we won.
I think it was Vanderbilt.
I'm sorry?
I think it was Vanderbilt 56-0, but go ahead.
Okay, then we went to the basketball game, and we were sitting pretty high up, and it was typical Mike White. I'm going to go down the court as slow as I possibly can because that's all the players I have. I can't do a fast break. I got no fast players. This is the way it is. Mike got out of the seat, my friends, went down to about the 10th row and was screaming at Mike White.
Yeah, no,
the fans were cheering as he was screaming.
Well, we were playing Florida State, and they blew us out of the O-Dome. And we were favored to win that game. We had It was a time when Florida State was really good at basketball in the recent past.
Yeah.
But we had a really good team. Mike White was not a bad recruiter, just horrendous at making his pieces fit and doing what our players did the best. We had a bunch of stallions, and he slowed the ball up. I went down and just, Mike White, what the F are you doing? Let these guys run. You're awful. Come on, let's go. And at the end of the game, in the interview room, he said, he took the blame. He's like, it was an atrocious offense. That's on me. Yes, it was on you. And I think that led the path to him getting the hell out of there and us getting in Todd Golden. By the way, I apologize to you, Mr. Strickland. That was a great hire. And Todd Golden came in. I'm taking full credit for that, Pops. So,
all right.
So let me go on with my final couple thoughts.
All right.
I kind of got sidetracked there. Does Walter Clayton deserve a statue outside the O-Dome? I believe he does. He was the first ever, I can't believe it, All-American basketball player we've ever had. I can't believe it, but that is true. He was the first ever All-American. I believe we have 3. You get a Heisman Trophy, you're getting a statue outside the swamp. You win an MOP, a Most Outstanding Player, in the Final Four, that means your team won. So even though this would be kind of a slight to Al Horford, he's got plenty of stuff celebrating him within the walls of the arena. I think we should now build statues of Joakim Noah, MOP of 2006, Corey Brewer, MOP of 2007, and Walter Clayton, MOP of 2025. I do believe they deserve statues.
I like it. I like that idea.
Yes. And I guess my final thought on this team. Pops, in the final AP poll taken of the 2024-2025 men's basketball season in the country, the Florida Gators beat number 2 Houston. They beat number 4 Auburn twice. They beat number 5 Tennessee twice. They beat number 6 Alabama twice. They beat Texas Tech. They beat Maryland. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Texas A&M, number 19. They beat number 20 Arkansas twice, I believe. Maybe just once. What a joke of a season. Those were the final. I mean, they were they were ranked different. We beat two number one teams in the season. One on the road we were up by double digits the entire second half. And then one at home, we beat Tennessee. We had heard about how great Tennessee was, Pops, for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They came to the O-Dome. We beat the crap out of them by 30 points for their first loss. That set them back a little bit. That put doubt in their minds for sure.
Well, then they repeated. They came back and revenged us and beat us by 20 at their place. But let me end this way. I want to congratulate Walter Clayton. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to congratulate Martin. I want to congratulate Richard. I want to congratulate all of the Gators, but those three especially because they're gone. They're moving on to the next whatever they're going to do. Walter should be a first round pick. The other two, I mean, Martin is a hell of a player. I'm sure he'll keep on playing basketball somewhere. I believe Richard will do the same thing. You know what? There's an opportunity probably for Condon. There's an opportunity for Houck to go. We'll see what happens with that. But I will tell you this: the cupboard is not bare. We have Mr. Chiniolo coming back.
Yeah.
We got Hanlon coming back.
Yeah.
I think Houck will come back. I really do. And then we have a 7'9" who I loved at the end of the game, just reaches up and takes his pick of the net right there, Oliver. So we have Denzel who's going to lead us at point, a true point guard. Okay, we need Mr. Golden to go in there, find a couple guys, and we'll be back. This is not a one-time thing. Because Golden understands he has brought Gator basketball back to prominence. If you look at the last from 2000, we had 3 titles since 2000. Now that's 25 years, but name me 3 other schools that have three titles.
There's only 3 other ones.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
UConn,
Yes.
Duke, and North Carolina.
Correct.
We are now a blue blood in basketball. I'm sorry.
So when people say that we're not there, yeah, we are. Okay. And with Mr. Golden, who we're going to give a bag of money to, I mean, it's going to keep him here. We're going to find those other pieces that we're going to need to make a run next year. We're not done. This is not a one-time thing. We got the pieces in place. We got a great bench. And now it's going to be the next generation of a couple players coming in. So all you portal guys out there that want to win a title, this is the place.
Yeah, hope abounds. I mean, we just proved in basketball that it wasn't just one team. It wasn't just one coach, that it was just lightning in a bottle. We proved it in football with a different coach and a different group of players. We just proved it in basketball. Pops, no freshman played in the national title game for the first time since 1989. No freshman.
That's unbelievable.
The portal and the NIL has changed the game, and Todd Golden is on top of it like nobody else. So even if we left the cupboard bare, even if Houck leaves, good for you. Even if Condon leaves, good for you. Even if we lose a couple guys to the transfer portal, we have proven we can do it, and we'll do it again. I love this. Even if this team had not won the whole thing, Pops, it was an incredible season, a marvelous ride. Loved every second of it. This team will always have a place in my heart. Everybody on the team, everyone. If Alexis transfers, Alexis came in and played his heart out when we had trouble with Condon and in injuries. And then Hanlon steps in. Alexis goes back to the bench. He's still one of the biggest cheerleaders we had. You know,
I think he's going to get his opportunity. I really do.
Klapchar had some big moments, but we saw in the tournament, and Todd Golden saw, he's not ready for the moment. He's a liability on the court at times. He stood back and cheered. He might go somewhere else, but he was still a part of the team. Nobody's ego got in the way of this team. And one of the biggest reasons we won it all I love you Gators forever for that.
Right. Listen. Final Four, as you know, is my favorite time of sports event of the entire year.
March Madness.
You know, the Saturday, the 2 games, and then obviously Monday, the championship game. Now my second favorite event of sports season is coming up this weekend. I live and die with the Masters.
Yep.
I love it. I have no dogs in the fight. Don't care. I just want to see great golf. But just to end on a note with the Gators, it has been a phenomenal year. Ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a year. It's been a great time broadcasting with you on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I had to take you off the wall a few times, but that's
well,
it's been great.
It's been awesome. I appreciate your pops. We'll do it again for sure sometime soon. And as far as Gator stress goes, we're going to take the stress off a little bit. The baseball team's not playing that well, so we're probably not going to have that many stressful moments in postseason. But as far as football goes, the pressure is on, boys.
Bring it on, baby.
Will the Gator boys stay hot in football as well? We shall see, but congratulations, Gators. Congratulations, Gator Nation. We are the champions. Once again, I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the final installment of the Big Dance Podcast, which we'll probably do next year. This was part 4, which I dubbed Chompions. As always, come on, Gators!
Go! Go, Gators!
The champs! We're the champs. Take care, everybody. Until we see you again, go Gators!